Russia, Vladimir Putin, Russia, Russia hates Russia, Putin, Russia's, Russia, Moscow, Russian, pro-Russian, the Russians, Moscow, Russian, Russia, Putin, Russian against us, Russians against the U.S., the Russian government, the Russians, Vladimir Putin, Russia, Putin and Russia, the second of the 20th century's great evils,
Angelic, yeah? Waxahachie, yeah? Good morning, everybody. On the guitar is awesome, don't you? Pretty awesome, man. Waxahachie, right? It gives you that feeling like, wow, this fucking something's happening there, right? Every once in a while, you never know, and you start sticking a little Rachel Maddow with a Russia. Remember this?
Russia against us. The Russians rush against the U.S. The Russians rush.
The left-right paradigm. The Russians, the Chinese.
Putin and Russia. Moscow.
Russia, China, Russia. We got to get one now with Tucker Carlson. China did it. China did it. Wuhan, China, Wuhan, China. It's the same shit, right? Hey, good morning, everybody. Marcus Conte in the morning. How are you? Marcus in the morning. Ooh, what a morning. Vinny DiMartini in the house. Good morning. Carol Hayes in the house. We got Joe Mama. Joe Mama. Walking Axel. Thank you, guys. Walking Axel. Hamilton. Who else is here? Joe Dokes. Good morning, Joe Dokes. Jimmy Rock, Mary Stevens, Terrestrial Mac, Raymond Duncan. What's up, everybody? So that was Waxahachie. Talk about some. I don't know what I want to talk about today. I just speed read some of the headlines. Corona. What are the tolls? What are the physical, mental, and spiritual tolls of this devastating virus, this pandemic that we're engulfed in? It's engulfing everything. Our spiritual being, our physical being. There's going to be food shortages and all kinds of shit. Our mental state, our financial, economic state, right? What are the tolls in 2030, maybe 10 years from now, if you're lucky enough to still be alive? Just like with 9/11, you'll say to yourself, where were you when the great pandemic struck? And then by 2030, we'll realize that it was a total farce, just like 2001. The 9/11 thing was just all bullshit. Right? The same thing is going to happen here, right? But where were you when the pandemic struck? We'll tell stories about wearing masks and alcoholing our hands, touching everything. We became germaphobes in the great 2020. The era of 2020 is that of germophobia, I guess. So that's Rachel Maddow. In complete fairness, there's
Russia.
We remember, right? How could we forget? How could we forget the left's smearing of Russia? And now the paradigm has shifted to the right of China. It's important to know because neither one of which are really the problem. Those are the CIA talking points, the scapegoat to make you not look at the real problem, the real pressing problem of a global meltdown, of an economic fallacy of fiat currency. Print money just to get us out of debt for now. We know it's going to explode. Don't worry about it. Just keep printing the money, right? That's really what it's hiding, right? It always has. So there's Rachel Maddow. We can never forget the Russiagate. 2.5 years of nonstop fucking Russia. And here goes Tucker Carlson, who I know everybody, Tucker Carlson has done some good work. It's not a bash on Tucker Carlson's entire portfolio of ideas, but it certainly needs to be looked at. Now he's pushing the China conspiracy. It is a conspiracy. It's based on CIA leaks to the Washington Post that a laboratory in Wuhan, China knew all about and leaked out the coronavirus out of Bat's asshole. This whole conspiracy theory, until totally, it's as provable as the 12 GRU agents swooped down into the DNC and hacked the servers. China leaking out the Wuhan virus and devastating the economy is just as ridiculous. And we're finding, and why? Because we're finding the more people are tested for coronavirus, we realize that it was always there in the first place. So how did it somehow squeak out of Wuhan, China? There's a lot of open-ended stuff. But here goes Tucker Carlson, backed by Fox News. buying it hook, line, and sinker. I talked about this yesterday, but here's his actual statement.
Well, the leadership of mainland China, of course, lied about this virus from the beginning. They virtually guaranteed it would spread across the world and devastate the global economy, all of which happened.
All of which happened. That China, listen again, I mean, it's important, right? This is Fox News. He's buying it hook, line, and sinker. He's obviously reading it off the teleprompter because he's told to.
Of mainland China, of course, lied about. Well, the leadership of mainland China, of course, lied about this virus from the beginning. They virtually guaranteed it would spread across the world. And
did they virtually guarantee it would spread across the world? Do countries lie about their internal? Of course, all countries lie about their internal, revelations and their, leaks or whatever or their scientific research. But did they do it on purpose? Of course not.
Devastate the global economy, all of which happened. Will they pay any price for that?
And there's the clue right there. Will they pay any price? How much are they going to give us? All right, let's focus on China. China's the fault, right? Not that the fact that, that the bankers got all the bailouts again, rather than bailing out the debtors, just like in 2008. Rather than bail out the debtors, the mortgage holders, the credit card holders, people like you and I who accrued debt, rather than bail out the 99%, they bailed out the bankers. They gave the corrupt bankers that crashed the economy all of the money to do it again. That was 2008. We're seeing the repeat. We're seeing it on steroids. We have a president now that justifies it and bona fides it, and now his talking heads through Fox News are now promoting the idea that China must be responsible for our devastation, not ourselves. It has nothing to do with us. We see empty hospitals. We see empty emergency rooms. We see in Brooklyn, New York, where I am, in New York City, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, there's no visual evidence. There's no significant, substantial evidence to validate shutting down an entire economy. Upon further investigation, you look at the hospitals; they don't appear to be overflowing. It's just the morgues; they're not burying. There's no dead bodies in the street. All you see is lockdown and a whole lot of nothing, right, for no reason, and so blame China.
Eric Schmidt is the Attorney General of the state of Missouri. Today, he made Missouri the first state to sue China over the Wuhan coronavirus. He joins us tonight. Mr. Attorney General, thanks so much.
I just wanted to say, right, so what Tucker Carlson's doing, he's bringing in this jackoff from Missouri, the Attorney General who's filing a civil lawsuit in the Southern District of Missouri, and he'll probably win because it's the Attorney General, and they'll get the judges that favor the whole thing, and they'll get a judgment against China for billions and billions of dollars, and then Fox News will say, "See, they were found guilty in a court of law, in such a just federal judge system that we have here." That's all nonsense, absolute bullshit. That whole system has failed and continues to fail. The idea is, the only difference with Russiagate, it was criminal. They said that it was a criminal hack. And here we're now going with the civil suit, civilly holding the country of China, which they're not gonna show up at the table. They're gonna just flip the finger or they'll send 4 Chinamen. Oh, yo, fuck you, America, fuck you, you leak. That's what they'll do. I leak, you leak. That's probably what they're going to do. But here you go anyway. Nonetheless, they have to find a scapegoat. And this Attorney General is aggressively leading the Trump mouthpiece, the Fox News, the CIA talking points, to blame the motherfucker on China.
Coming on tonight. Tell us about this suit that you have filed.
Well, look, what's become clear in recent weeks is the deception, the misrepresentation, the concealment of the Chinese government of the origins of this vicious virus that's impacted the entire globe. I mean, no part of the world has been spared from the coronavirus. And the fact is the Chinese government misrepresented. They were aware of the human-to-human contact and transmission very early on, hid that, punished and concealed the evidence from whistleblowers. And the impact has been devastating. You had a loss of life here in Missouri, over 6,000, nearly 6,000 cases.
And on and on and on. Now he goes on to make his case, right? But you see the propaganda weaved in there. You can't. You have no evidence. They're guilty until proven innocent, right? That's what's going on.
Nearly 200 deaths, people not being allowed to see folks in nursing homes or funerals, the economic impact, the disruption, people living paycheck to paycheck who've lost their jobs. It's enormous. And our state legislature goes in next week, like a lot of states, to try to craft a state budget under these circumstances. So
there, I just wanted to point that out. There goes the China scare. And we're going to see more and more of this, even if I think it'll probably be over once Trump wins again. They'll let it go because, again, Trump has nothing to lose. And, because he's already gotten his reelection. He's already convinced 50% of the people that he's doing the right thing. Don't look at the economy. It doesn't matter, man. It's just pay attention to the disease. So they're even scaring us now that your pets, check this shit out, man, your cat. And cats, watch the population in the kennels now go up in cats because of this bullshit. Watch this.
In the U.S., the coronavirus is affecting the four-legged members of our families. The CDC announcing on Wednesday that cats in 2 separate homes in New York State have tested positive for COVID-19.
The cat presented with symptoms of upper respiratory infection, so sneezing, coughing, watery nose, nasal discharge, and eye discharge, and lethargy.
In this case, the cat's owner testing positive
Wow.
too. But in the second case, none of the human members of the family have tested positive. So how did it happen?
There's possibly an increased risk if they were an indoor-outdoor cats, so they were exposed to the
So they're trying to say that there's a coronavirus flu floating around within cats, but it's not contagious to humans. Blah, blah, blah.
outside environments to other people.
The good news?
The cat.
I think the point of this, the point of playing this is just to show the stupidity of the focus. Who are these people? Who's doing this? This is ABC News, pointing out that cats can get sick too, but it doesn't affect you or I. Really? Is that what they're trying to say? Is that the premise of the mainstream media? It's just so twisted right now. It's just fucking weird. Check this out.
That I have been dealing with is completely back to normal health and was just sick with some mild symptoms for a few days.
That's a hot veterinarian, man. Ah, sexy, sexy veterinarian.
And Dr. Fauci saying pet owners don't need to panic.
There's no evidence that the virus is transmitted from a pet to a human. Now, obviously, is that impossible? I mean,
But I thought it was from bat to human. Now it's not bat to human. Come on, get your bullshit straight.
biologically, anything is possible.
So the CDC issuing recommendations for keeping your family safe, fur babies included. Don't let pets interact with people from outside households. Keep your pets indoors. Maintain social distancing while going on walks, and avoid dog parks or public places. All of this coming as more big cats have tested positive for coronavirus. The Bronx Zoo announcing 7 positive cases in 4 more tigers and 3 lions. The zoo saying in a statement, "We tested the tigers and lions out of an abundance of caution," adding, "All 8 cats continue to do well. They are behaving normally, eating well, and their coughing is greatly reduced."
That's pretty cool because you heard the Bronx Zoo. All of the cats got sick. All 7 of them, whatever, were sneezing and coughing and choking, and and they that's good news. But can I guess the point is, can you catch coronavirus from your cat? Absolutely fucking not, right? According to the latest research. But let's be scared of cats anyway. Just don't take any chances. Don't take any chances, right? Inflict pain on cats. Be cautious of your pussycat. So look at these fine gentlemen. I want to read you something. Right? So in 2008, let's talk about the real problem. That's the fake problem. Russia did it. China did it. We did it to ourselves, right? We did it through greed, through a fiat money system, a system of infinite money printed and handed to banks to distribute in a way that's supposed to stimulate an economy, but instead lines their own pocket. Right? A fiat money system away from the gold standard back in the 1970s. That's the real problem. We've gotten to this point where 19 out of 20 donuts on the table go to the bankers, and then we fight for that one donut left on the table. 99% of the money is going to the ruling class. That's what's fucked up about it. Right? So 2008. Rather than these guys right here, these criminals right here, right, the criminal cabinet of Barack Obama and Mr. Joe Biden, and this gentleman right down here, let's take a good look at him. That's the real guy right there. That's Timothy Geithner. That's the Secretary of the Treasury, who was at the time the president of the Fed, and it was also his whole background is essentially Goldman Sachs. Right? And these guys, in 2008, they had a choice. Rather than bail out the human beings, rather than bail out people that were holding mortgages, that defaulted, credit card people, that they suddenly, they lost their life savings in the stock market, or whatever the reason was, right? When everything slowed down and the banks froze, rather than bail out the regular people, the credit card companies, the students, student loans, small businesses, rather than bail those people out, they went the other way. Right? They made the calculated, because look at who you surround yourself with. Timothy Geithner is Goldman Sachs. Look who Trump has. Trump has Steve Mnuchin, same guy. It's the same bloodline. It's the same banker scum. Goldman Sachs, the same organization. So rather than what the young Barack Obama, full of hopey changey, did was look at Hillary Clinton. Ugh. Look at Hillary Clinton up front. But rather than actually do the proper bailout, there's no difference today, is what I'm telling you. The remedy for bailing out the economy is identical and a little worse. So rather than bail out the debtors, they bailed out the banks, the criminals that created credit default swaps, these exaggerated, incomprehensible derivative markets where no one even understands it until they crash. Right? Leverage of 40-1 on stock market trades, commingling commercial money that you put in the bank, your savings, commingling that with their gambling in the stock market and their stock buybacks. That's who they handed in 2008. You want to blame Obama? Well, okay, I'm for that. Blame Obama, but you also have to blame the current people, the people that are doing it now. That's Trump and his team are doing that now. So rather than bail out the people, they bailed out the bankers again. It's a mirror image of 2020, but this time it's on steroids. It's even worse, because now it's policy to just keep printing money, right? So now are people aware of this? That's the point, right? I think people want to say, oh, fucking Obama, first black president, he fucking killed the economy, right? Well, he did, in a sense. They went along with the banker theory that we can do no wrong and screw the little guy. That's the theory that they went along with. And Obama bought that hook, line, and sinker. Now, Trump is the same, almost the identical, pretty much the identical animal. But are people aware of it? That's the point. Are they mentally, physically, spiritually aware of where this is coming from, right? You bail out the bankers who are, one with big pharma, who have an interest in vaccines, who have an interest in global tracking devices of people. I was standing in the park yesterday. I didn't do any videos, but I was standing in the park and I was talking to this guy about how he believes that the 5G networks can be amplified to cause flu-like symptoms. That can actually he believes that the 5G was turned up and caused the coronavirus. Now, I'm not disputing that. I just don't see any evidence. The evidence that we're told is that 5G is a very, very low frequency radiation that doesn't really do damage, but it was fascinating to listen to, right? right? Is that what it is? Is it we turn a switch, we get a virus, and we shut down an economy? Was that the pandemic? I don't know. I don't think that that's how it works. I think that there is a virus, and then there's an opportunity to do the things that to. It's like you see an opportunity. For example, I don't know. Maybe you're a YouTube journalist. Maybe you're a guy that makes YouTube videos, and you see an opportunity to advance your vision of video, maybe your opinion, and push your opinion in front of everybody else's opinion so that people see your opinion and not their opinion. And you wait for a weakness, maybe you're the guy that you're competing with. His house goes on fire and fucking, and all his equipment burns to the ground. And then you have an advantage. You take advantage of his downfall. That's competition. Or even in sports, you'll see, for example, in football, right? Guys constantly play in pain. In hockey too, they break their bones. Guys are playing with broken fingers, broken arms, and you don't tell the competition, "Oh yeah, by the way, I got a broken rib," because you know what? The other team goes right for your rib, and they try to knock you out. They'll try to bang at that arm. If they know your shoulder's fucked up, they'll keep banging at your shoulder until you're out. So the point is that to take advantage of someone else's downfall, right? Again, it's us versus them. It's them versus us. It's the 1% versus the 99%. When the 99% is struggling and has some kind of pandemic, I don't think rich people vaccinate their kids. I don't think super wealthy people are dealing with this in their perfect isolation and quarantine. So as the 99% struggle getting on subways and being in close contact with people, they see an opportunity. That's not conspiratorial. That's common sense based on, show me the evidence that 5G is causing coronavirus. Show me the evidence that coronavirus leaked out of Bat's asshole in Wuhan, China, inconclusively, that was ground zero. Show it to me. Show me the evidence that a logical thinking person will believe. But anyway, these folks right here, back to the financial. We're heading right now towards the lie is that the taxpayers will flip the bill for social programs, right? That's the lie. Is it true that now that we're seeing that the fiat, that people that a president that puts together a cabinet and has all these cabinet members, and they start to create economic policy, is it true that the taxpayers flip the bill when shit goes wrong? The fact is, do the taxpayers flip the bill for social programs that could be enacted? And the answer is no, because the evidence is now on the table for all to see, for anyone who wants to see it, that we have a system of printing infinite money that is not paid back to the banks. Give the banks everything they need, and they will somehow distribute it to the rest of the world. And what they do is they steal the money and they reallocate it. Again, they take 19 donuts for themselves and they distribute one donut and watch everybody fight for it. Are people aware of that? Are people becoming more aware of that as the supply chains break down? I don't know. But what I'm trying to say in this is that guy right here, this guy right here, see this guy? See this guy? See these two guys, right? See these guys right here? Barack Obama. See this guy? And look, he's got Rahm Emanuel. These guys did exactly what Trump did. Exactly. Trump did it par excellence, without a blink of the eye. They went right to the banks and gave them everything. And what did they do? The money that was supposed to go to the small businesses, they stole it. They stole it and said, "Oh, we ran out. We ran out of money. We have no more money. No more money. There's no more. I don't know. It didn't go 300 billion. We need another 300 billion." How much of that money actually hit the economy, we'll never fucking know. It's just a total scam. So let's see how it's affecting. This is actually a good thing, man. I hate looking at this shit. I hate looking at dead, carcass on the table. But people call it food, and for the sake of this video, we will call it food. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Marcus in the morning. Marcus in the morning. What's up, everybody in the chat? Jessley Snipes is in the house. Vinny DiMartini. Shane Lewis is here. And B. Axel, Walking Axel's here. How's everybody doing, man? Doing good, man. So check this shit out, man. Pork shortage. Shortages are coming. Why? Because the supply chain is going to start to break down. What do you think? It just comes out of it magically, you know. What I heard is that all of the packaging, one of the reasons why it's not actually a food shortage, there's plenty of pigs to kill and eat, and plenty of eggs and plenty of milk. It's just, and vegetables. But it seems like the packaging of the merchandise, right? That part of the supply chain has broken down. For example, rather than they don't have enough egg cartons to put all of the eggs they have in. Why? Because the egg cartons are made in China and the fucking chain broke down. They can't get the packaging to put the stuff in. It would cost more to ship and sell the eggs rather than because they don't have the stuff to put it in, right? You can't put. They usually, for example, if they're selling to restaurants, they have these big egg crates with, 24, 48, 200 eggs, and the simple one with 12 eggs, they don't have those. So, what are they doing? They're smashing the eggs. They're killing the pigs and burying them. It's just a sick thing, and what it's leading to is shortages. But we don't have actual shortage. We have a supply chain problem. Why not? If people want to eat a pig, why don't you just open the door and say, "Here, come get a pig. We'll shoot it, and you can cut it up and eat it." All right. Well, here's the eggs. Here's where they are. Come drive your ass out here, and we'll pick up all the eggs you want. We're giving them away. Why can't you do that? Why do people have to destroy the egg just for a little bottom dollar? It's ridiculous. It's throwing food into the ocean, right? In the last several weeks, 6 major U.S. meat packing facilities have shuttered operations because of the coronavirus outbreak. That means that 15% of American hog slaughtering capacity has been shifted offline. And there is an additional risk that beef and poultry capacity could be reduced in the weeks ahead. So food shortages are coming. It's not that there's a shortage of food. There's a shortage of distribution of the food. In a chain, the breakdown of the chain. With every virus-related plant closure, farmers have been denied access to meat packing facilities, slaughterhouses, resulting in herd overcapacity, and suggests euthanizing hogs could be next. Killing the hog, killing the pig, rather than eating it. Why don't you just let it live its life? Why don't you fucking let it hang out on the farm and just chill out, man? Have some babies. Why you got to eat it and kill it? Cold storage facilities only have a few weeks to cushion supply disruption of the latest plant closure. So this whole article talks about the breakdown in the supply chain. Why? Because you're not doing business in the usual way. Your people are not working. People are not the slaves in China that put together milk, egg cartons and milk containers and all this shit they can't get access to it. Right? So expect more of that in this shutdown. All right, supply food chain, food shortages. Is it all part of a pandemic? No, it's, again, I see it as opportunism. I see it as if you have a 1% ruling class, a monopoly, that have all of the money parts, they're not suffering, right? You got that jack-off Geffen, right? The Geffen, you remember the article about Geffen, the musical guy who made billions and billions of dollars in the musical industry? He's on his yacht, quarantining himself, driving around. He's on his boat. He doesn't get off his boat, and he floats around. Not just a boat, but a fucking 170-foot luxury yacht, right? With a jacuzzi on the upstairs and a saltwater pool and a helicopter landing pit, right? That kind of shit, right? He's floating around out in the ocean somewhere, and he has helicopters, choppers bringing him supplies and removing supplies to support one fucking guy. That's the kind of life he's living. You think he gives a flying fuck about about anything? Do you think he cares that eggs are going to be $10 a dozen? No, he'll pay fucking $500 a dozen. He doesn't care because the money doesn't matter to a guy like that, right? And those are the people that are making the decisions. That's always my point with this thing, right? That these are the guys that are making these decisions. They made their wealth on the back of, a fiat currency system, a rigged economy that benefits only 1%. I'm rambling. I get you. I hear you. So what else we got here, man? So the food supply is going down. This is great. This is interesting, and predicted. I had said it a while ago about the doctor. We found that doctor who told us that ventilators were in fact killing people, and now it's true. Now here's the evidence. Here's the evidence that supports the guy's theory that intubation with a ventilator is actually not the right thing to do. Shocking new data shows 90% of COVID-19 patients on ventilators won't survive. Wow. So it is the ventilator. The escalation in deaths is a direct result of the ventilators. That's why the death rate is high. The rate of the amount of COVID-19/flu is lower is lower proportional to the people that the number of people that died because there's less testing, less coronavirus testing, and more death, right? Right. So the death rate is higher because of the intubation, and the amount of people catching it is lower than the flu because they're not testing. You follow? You can get the numbers on a flu. Oh, I had the flu. I went to the doctor. I had a flu. And there it is. But no one's tested for that specific coronavirus flu. So again, more evidence that the ventilators are actually killing people, and that the overall number of death is inflated because of that, and that the number of people in contacting coronavirus is actually probably much higher, meaning that the death ratio is very low. I hope that makes sense. So just 48 hours before Georgia was set to become the first state in the country to start reopening its economy, President Trump revealed in what sounded like an offhanded answer to reporters' question that he strongly disagrees, blah, 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 blah. Trump, you turn, what the hell am I reading here? Millions of people around the world are beginning to question the wisdom of strict lockdown strategies. Where's the statistic? Let's look at this thing. So newly reported deaths appear to be elevating. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. I'm just reading the headline, but I'll believe it. I'll believe it. Shocking new data shows 90% of COVID-19 patients on ventilators won't survive. So that is a fucking amazing statistic, an amazing finding. Whoever found it, 90%, 9 out of 10 people on a tube on the the ventilator are gonna fucking die. This is dope, man. That's some sick shit right there. Right? So what else we got? This is crazy too. This is staggering. This plays also into the notion of death from coronavirus. 565 Americans have lost their jobs for every confirmed COVID-19 death in the U.S. Wow. So that's the reason. Shut down the economy, take away people's jobs. 565 for every one death from coronavirus. And that coronavirus death can't really be confirmed to be coronavirus death. It could be pneumonia. It could be malpractice, intubating people when they should have been put out on the track and forced to run around and cough their ass off and choke up the stuff that was in their lungs. Not intubate them and push the shit down into the alveoli level of the lungs and kill them. Go the other way. I know. It's painful. You feel like your bones are breaking. You're tired. You're cranky. Get up off your ass. We'll wheel you out into the wheelchair. We'll throw you out into the middle of the field, and we'll make you exercise. And we'll drop you in the pool and make you swim. We'll put you on a bike and force you to fucking pedal and choke, man, and cough it up with oxygen. We'll give you some oxygen, right? But so economy killer, that's what it really is. That's what we're talking about. 565 Americans have lost their jobs for every confirmed case. Unfreaking believable. Initial claims. So this is February, March, and I don't know, for some reason I'm not connecting with these articles today. That brings the 4-week total to 26.5 million, which is over 10 times the prior worst 5-week period. So an enormous spike in unemployment as a result of the deaths. Death! You're going to die! Take away your job. Stay in your home. Crash the economy. Break down the supply chains. Give all the money to the bankers. Redistribution of wealth. Right? All small businesses, so many of them are going to go under. I would say 50-75% of small businesses are going to go under. And all of their supplies, all of their storefronts, all of their merchandise, it's all going to go on sale for who? The big corporations, the big banks are going to take over. All right, so that's a crazy statistic too. What else we got? So virus. So vaccine. How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing? I'm tired today, man. Whenever I'm out on that bike, man, I got a lot of photographs. I've been doing a lot of stills and pedaling around. I have to do that. I got to get out into New York. And a lot of times I'm not making a video. Yesterday I was in a place called, it's Williamsburg, Brooklyn. If you've probably heard of it. Very cool, very, very like trendy people in Williamsburg. Very, very high real estate price. And quite frankly, the real estate there sucks. It's shitty old, immigrant buildings built by the Polish. They're starting to knock those down and build, nicer stuff there. But essentially, it's very hipster. It's very rock and roll. The Strokes came out of there. All the bands that I like. Probably this Waxahachie's probably spent some time in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. But I was there, and I was kind of hanging out in this park called McCarran Park. I'm pedaling around with the city bike, and I was just sitting there, and I was thinking to myself, "Where's all the hipsters, man? You don't see them. They're doing the isolation thing. They're doing the quarantine. You don't see them out on the street. The economies are just a lot of these kids that are spending $2,000, $3,000 on rent to live in a cool neighborhood. They're fucked. They think, and I had another discussion with a guy in Washington, in Union Square Park, and we were just looking around, right? When you're in the middle of it, and New York, how it hustles and bustles, and the sheer amount of people to keep the thing running, and you look around and you don't see them, and you see nothing but closed businesses and everything shut down, and people are under the impression that you're just going to throw a light switch. You're just going to flip a light switch, and everything's just going to go back on. Oh, yeah, it's time to go back to work. But there's no... The companies that you worked for are decimated at this point, especially if they're small to medium-sized. They can't pay you. What, are you going to work for free? They're in a position where they might not be able to pay you because of the way that, that the bankers are putting together these packages for you. You might not ever even get one. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And we looked around and we said, no, it's not. It's delusional to think that after this devastation, after 500, what's the number? There's the number. 500, because one person dies, 565 people lost their job. That somehow we're just going to flip a switch and everything is going to go right back on. It's delusional. That's what I'm saying, right? It's the transfer of wealth that's occurring right before your eyes. Right? Bankers are getting bailed out. The small businesses are sitting out there ready to rot. They're starving out the little people, the workers, who will take anything, right? Because most people are ignorant like that, to be perfectly honest. You got to feed yourself. So you'll do anything just to make it by. All right, so that's where we're at right now. So what's going on in the chat, man? Starting to run out of gas, man. I got to get out. Got to get outside, man. Get some exercise. I got a whole lot of video. I have I'm sitting on a bunch of videos that I made yesterday. And a lot of, again, still photography. I got one shot of a guy sleeping in a fucking bathroom, like literally hugging a toilet bowl. There's the legs sticking out of the shit, man. Shit is getting real in the city, right? Like, you see all this nothingness, but then you see quite a bit of the homeless, struggling, right? And so anyway, how's the stock market doing? How's your motherfucking stocks? So the market is open, 10:30. 10:30 in the morning, the market's up. How is the market up? Think about it. Think about the manipulation here. Why is the stock market up 295 points? Why is there even a bounce other than the short squeeze? Why is the market moving upward when everything is frozen? Think about that for 1 second. How on earth can the S&P 500 stocks on the S&P or the Dow 30, how are these companies in their right? How they're not profitable? You can't call a government handout profit. Is that what it is? We got all this free money. We're calling that profit. That's how it works. We don't make anything, but we have unlimited access to cash, trillions of dollars, and let's call that profit. And that's how that's why the markets are going up, because we believe that the stocks are worth something more, and we'll sell it to all our rich cocksucker friends, and we'll call that a up market. So this market should be, at this point, should be zero. It should be $10. It should be 1,000, whatever, man. So anyway, man, I'm rambling today, man. I'm gonna kill it right here because I'm really fucking tired. I gotta go eat something, man. Well, let's listen to Waxahachie. See if she's a one-song wonder. Let's listen. Thanks everybody for joining me. Yeah. There's a lot of reminds me of Sonic Youth. Very sexy guitar. Really nice instrument. She's playing a Rickenbacker bass. The pink Stratocaster from the Stratocaster, Rickenbacker. That's a Tom Petty guitar. That's her sister, by the way. She's playing Stratocaster as well. Well, it's a Telecaster. Thanks everybody for downloading me today. Thanks for joining us. It really is, right? It's just a great band, really. Waxahachie. She does a lot of acoustic stuff too. The guitar playing is just awesome. She's got the heavy sound. The girl with the chick with the glasses on, she's got the heavy sound. Awesome bass player. Drummer's good too. Yeah, they're all really good. I'll say something sexist, but women can't play the drums. Very rarely. You always need a man on the drum. You always need a dude. You always need testicles on the drums. It just doesn't. I mean, there have been exceptions of bands that have female drummers, like the Go-Go's, for example, or the Runaways, or Susie and the Banshees. Isn't going to leave. Peace, everybody.
I mean, it's